episode of Alpha Simulation. Now, a couple of months ago, we received all the parts that we needed to build the cockpit shell. They come from Portugal, from FBC, from the Cockpit. I don't have all the parts here because they take a lot of space, so some of them are upstairs. But we start already building, and I want to show you where we are at, and I want to show you also the progress as we go through for the cockpit shell. So if you can show here, Jonathan is my cameraman, my son. So the first thing, you remember that we had the floor, and this is obviously the rudder pedals, and then MIP center stage here. So the first thing we had to do is to actually position the MIP a little bit further and installed this column with some screw there. This column will then be the base for what's gonna hold the rest of the structure and the overhead panel. Next things we are gonna do, we are gonna install this frame. These are the frames for the window, and let me show you how it's gonna look. Basically, we have the window here, which is basically plexiglass. They will go inside. Is this the way? No, maybe the other way. Yeah, this way. So they will go inside from over there. They will go inside here, and obviously the plastic we will remove it, and it will be covered by everything will be covered by this this part over here. Okay, so that's what we have to do now. The next step is to do exactly the same for the other window, and then we'll continue and we'll show you as we progress how we are doing. Again, there is not much instruction apart from some video that shows, but everything is pretty much simple to install. I mean, you can see the holes correspond, so you put the screw, the correct screw. Let's show some parts actually. So this is one of the parts that we received. It's the, I don't know how to call it, but it's the top of the nose of the half of the nose of the shell. We have the other half of the nose upstairs. This is probably very typical. This is from the captain side. It's still package wrapped, but you can see there is the window, and it's hard now to show you, but inside there is also already installed the tiller and the oxygen mask setup station, whatever you want to call that. Sorry, I'm thinking how to build everything, so my words is not coming out at the moment. Okay, so we can break now. Let's continue, Jonathan, and then we start again and we'll show them another part of the video. Right, so we just finished to install the window frames. The windows actually is less things you're gonna put, exactly the less things. So everything else first and then the window in the end, because the window will be attached from the outside and then cover on top. So the next things we have to do is to basically these two panel here, they go this way, and this one will cover exactly this section. So we put this one to cover, this one then go on top, and from inside you basically cover, sorry, I think this one goes, actually, sorry, yeah, this way. So it will be this cover this way, and there are 4 holes on this panel. 1, 2, 3, 4, which correspond to the small holes that you see here. So this will be attached to the window frame, left, right, and also to this panel in the center. Let's get to it. Right, we made some progress. What we did is to fit the middle part here. Now, we didn't fit the one as I showed you before because we still have to this one here to cover will be actually after, because we need to put some parts, so I don't want to put it now if we don't need it. The difficult part was to actually push the MIP all the way to make sure that this was inside and this one was inside, and also this part was all the way inside here. So to align these three was a little bit tricky. On top of that, this one was a little bit scratchy here, but we can repaint, no problem, because it's quite, the tolerance is quite almost zero. We have to really push. Anyway, we cover the back of the rudders. Next things will be to connect these and then start putting the nose section. We are done for today. We'll continue later on now. Ciao. Alright guys, second day installing this cockpit shell. I've been working on the cable management just to show you how it looks really. So that's the I don't know if you can see, but there's one mini PC and there's another mini PC. That's how everything was already installed when I purchased the MIP from Sismo. So the cable management inside is already been done the best they could. I'm happy with that. I attached this one here, so it's now stable. All the cable has been connected and ensure that there is nothing hanging on the floor, because I don't want anything to touch the floor, so there is less dust and there is no risk of trapping the cable through some wheels when I will turn this around. I installed the link for the rudder, put back the panel. This panel is not going to be put back because obviously there is this one in the middle. So now what we're going to work is obviously on the nose section. That's the section for the first officer, and I'm here connecting the captain nose section and the captain side door. Well, door actually, it's the side of the shell for the captain. Now the things we don't have yet is the oxygen over there. I need to find that, put it somewhere. I need to find and install it, but everything else installed, the glass and everything. And we have the cable there, which is for the tiller. If you remember, I said that the tiller was not connected yet. This will be obviously connected to the black box. Everything works fine now. So I have to connect everything through these. There are some holes here that correspond to those. I need to connect this before putting everything on top. The nose here, and the nose is going to be attached to the section of the window through these other holes here, and on top, on the side, and here. So it's going to be stable once everything will be connected. By the moment it's a little bit sort of wobbly. Okay, so let's get going. All right, after 2 days my cable management is done. I did the best I could. There are a lot of cables, guys, on me, so that's the best I could. So basically everything is tied there, all nice and done. The hub which connect all the modules to the network, every cable has been tagged, so I know exactly which cable is which Ethernet cable, everything tied up. All the Ethernet for the yoke, tiller, rudder pedals and everything else all connected. Everything connected to a surge protector. I also, given all the cables, I also calculate the maximum power and output current that is going to be driven when everything is turned on to the maximum, and it's all safe, doesn't exceed the maximum power I can provide, so it's all safe. Everything this we already start connecting. That part is connected. Now this one is will be connected, but I need to put the other one first. Once everything is closed, you're not gonna see anything. The only thing that will come out from the simulator is the main power connector. This will give the full power to the entire simulator. Then we have the Ethernet for the hub that goes to my wall, basically, when I get the internet from. This one will be connected to PC, which is also will have the PC on the same network, and the USB power for the black box. Okay, so that's the best cooled. Another things, we have everything there set up. Some other power supply here, everything, all the cables hiding there, and then we have on top of here we have the two cables for the overhead backlight and the overhead power for both, and so this will also be covered, don't see anything. And then here we have the power for the throttle, the Ethernet cable for the throttle, and then we have the power for the pedestal and the Ethernet cable for the pedestal. This will run through under the throttle and the pedestal, so you're not gonna see anything. That's the best I could do in terms of cable management. Yep. Alright everyone, I just want to give some update on the construction of the full simulator. So the last time I was showing, this was actually turned around 100 degrees and I was actually mounting that part. So this side has been mounted with the nose section, and did the same on the other side. After that, the next part was to mount the two top section. It was quite tricky. You basically have to, and this shell is from Fly by Cockpit, which has done fantastic job, but again, doesn't come with instructions, so you have to figure out yourself how to do it. It's quite simple actually, but sometimes you need to think a couple of minutes before you start doing things. So you put this on top, and the difficult part was the over here. You have this little metal part which should sit there, and the two hole correspond to the two hole here, because then you have to put something and connect it. While this one go on top, this part goes on the bottom, and this was the difficult part for me to do it. Both sides, obviously. Once you get to know how to do it, it's not difficult. And once you do that, you put the screw on top here, which go around, and at least this is safe, doesn't fall down. The rest here will be used to put the full top cover. I mean, this is getting bigger and bigger by the minute. I know a lot of people questions about how do you connect the shell to the floor. So let me give a little bit of background on the floor. Originally, as I said in one of my videos, the floor was purchased by, I purchased from Sismo. It was not the correct floor for what I needed. Nothing wrong with the Sismo floor, it was just something that I didn't calculate correctly, so I purchased the one from Fly by Cockpit, which is also the one that give the shells. And it makes sense, if you're using the shell from Fly by Cockpit, just buy also the floor from there. It makes sense, it fits perfectly. Now the floor, it's metal all over. It contains some big wheel, you can see over here, with the braking system. I think there are 6 or 7 wheels, so don't worry, once you release the brake you can move this, but even so it's very difficult to move. It's very heavy, you need at least 2-3 people to move. On top, when you put the braking system on each wheel, this definitely is not gonna move. I mean, the floor, on top of the floor you have these metal plates or sheets. They're about half centimeter height, and obviously all the holes are already pre-made, so you can just screw everything together. You can see here the shape of the captain seat and the shape of the first officer seat. So when you start building the shell else actually doesn't get connected to the floor. There are no pre-made hole or anything that you need to connect. I think once you connect everything, the shell actually sits on top of the floor, because it's quite, it goes from this side all the way to this side, and it's connected through the nose front, the overhead section here, so it's quite big and it's quite heavy, and I think it just sits on the floor. There is no way that you actually can move this. Also because if you notice here, once you put everything together, there is no space here between the MIP and the side of the first officer or the captain side to move left or right. So it's all center, it's all quite stable. Of course, if you want, no one stop you from making some sort of L shape here, metal L shape, and you can put some screws, but it will just ruin everything. I don't think it's needed. I mean, look at this, it just doesn't move, and it's not even connected yet. Everything is fiberglass, so don't expect that when you put the things together they fit like a perfect puzzle, okay? You need to sort of move a little bit, try to figure out the position. And then when you put the screw, put them strategically so it helps you to maintain the position. For example, when I was putting the nose was probably the most difficult part. These are very light, the nose section. Sorry about the space, but when you put the two together, actually this line doesn't match very well. So you need to start putting, there is not much light, but there are some screws here that you put together to connect these two together. This will help you to align the top one here, and as you can see, even so it's not even that perfect. Now I have a screw here, you don't see it, but I know that there is a screw and a bolt and nut. Actually it's not screw, bolt and nut about this length. I can tie it a little bit more, but I think I reach my maximum. If I tie a little bit more, I can probably break the fiberglass, and I don't want to do that. And to be honest, I'm not bothered here because nobody sees the front, and actually you can always cover that. Overall, it's still good. But just to show you that it's fiberglass, and it's you know, here the nose connected to the part of the captain side. Obviously there are bolt and nut that goes through. Again, don't expect that this one will be absolutely tied up. I mean, you can see here, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that there is a bolt there. Yes, I can make this a little bit closer, but it's quite difficult to put your hand there, and also I think I reach my maximum. If I try to go a little bit over, I can break it. So I suggest you try to go easy. Overall, from far away, don't even notice. And you can also put something like a sticker or something like a I don't know, Boeing or 737 that cover up anyway. The glass are plexiglass, which makes sense. Now the reason why there is no glass here is not an illusion. Is because it will be the last part to put it. There is a metal frame here that go around with the plexiglass on top. This was already done. It will actually look like this, but this was already pre-installed when I put this one. Okay. So the way, just to summarize, I installed the floor, I installed the dual yokes, dual link rudder, and then I brought the MIP. I saw so many people that did the shell first and then put everything else. I couldn't do that, guys. This MIP with the MCP and everything else on its own, it's about probably 220, 230 kilograms of weight. So it's very, very heavy. So if I have to build everything and then move everything there, it would be an impossible task. So I put that one first, connect everything, and then I build my shell around it. And once you do that, everything else is easier. There is this part here I showed you before. This. Make sure also to use the structure for your cabling. For example, there is a nice hole here that goes all the way down inside the nose, all the way down to the floor. So I use that to call up my cables I need for overhead. So we have the overhead afterward and forward, plus the two power cable. This one goes up and then connect everything. I just step by step, I'll tell you, it's not about putting things together, screw together and make it easier. It takes a little bit of time planning on everything. I'm already starting setting up the cabling for the stick shaker. I'm gonna make a video about this stick shaker, and the cable here, and I already know how to cover the cable that goes all the way there. Now at the moment I'm in process of installing the two CDU. I put them, there is an Ethernet and a power cable inside that goes, and the same for there. You don't see anything, obviously, it's all nice and cable management all tied up. This was actually put by myself to cover the white gap there, because this is from CP Flight and there was a white gap, so I put myself this and I paint, and look how how beautiful the paint came out, very nice and shiny. So I'm gonna paint the rest with that, and then I'm gonna put the screw. After that, it's time to put a little bit the bar here that's missing, and then perhaps I need to start with the overhead before connecting everything else. Tiller has already been installed. I just need to calibrate on ProSim. Here I will have two tablets, one for captain, one for first officer. Will be connected to something that I can rotate if I need or move, and it will be powered by a Type B micro USB, which you are not gonna see because of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make the cable go all the way down, and I have power installed there with USB socket. So it's coming along, and I'll give an update as I go through. Right, so we paint or screw. Obviously I paint only from the side that I needed, and also the top one, and this is how they look like. It's difficult to focus, not bad. Anyway, it's not perfect, but it will be good for my CDUs. So I already prepared the holes to put the diesel screw, and that's what we're gonna do now. So there are 6 here and 6 there. Let's go for it. Everything has been now in position. The diesel screw has been put. To be honest, what I was putting, obviously with the screwdriver, some of the paint come off, but I need to retouch them. But overall, happy with the result. These are not moving at all, they're not going anywhere. We also removed the screen cover. Ready to go with this too. Up to the next part of the project.